Most kids complete a school project, then forget about it, but not Will. The inspired teenager is on a mission that's taken him all the way to Canberra.
We're confronting an energy and climate crisis. We should have absolutely every option on the table.
Will Shackle isn't your average 16-year-old, a Year 11 student whose goals extend far further than just finishing high school.
With the aim of hopefully building up the pressure to force government to legalise nuclear energy.
Will is the face behind Nuclear for Australia, his own campaign to push for nuclear energy in the country. Some would think a strange topic for a 16-year-old to be so passionate about, but it was a school assignment that ignited his interest.
There's a proven solution, there's an obvious solution, there's an easy solution, and that's called nuclear energy.
Will believes nuclear is the answer to Australia's energy crisis and a far better, cleaner option than coal.
There's all of these countries, there's the United States, China, France, United Kingdom. Why is it that Australia is one of the only nations in the world, indeed the only member state of the G20 with a ban on nuclear energy?
Will even took his case for nuclear to Canberra, speaking in front of a Senate committee.
Detrimental global climate change tipping points are on the horizon, and without action we risk subjecting millions of Australians to devastating energy and financial poverty. I'm open for questions, but please remember I'm a 16-year-old, so I'll do my very best to provide a response in my limited capacity.
Well, you've done exceptionally well.
Since the 90s, nuclear has been largely banned in Australia. We have one nuclear plant in Sydney's Lucas Heights, which is used to produce medical products, but not power. Now those campaigning for the ban to be lifted believe smaller-scale modular reactors could be the way of the future.
Small-scale modular reactors could be reliable, safe and affordable. The problem is it's all theoretical so far. None of these things, in fact, a very small number even exist.
Tony Wood is the Energy and Climate Change Director at the Grattan Institute.
Right now, I think the best thing we could do is to keep a very close watching brief on nuclear, because right now I don't think they figure as part of Plan A.
Tony believes it would be wiser to allow other countries who are already working on building small-scale modular reactors to do the science and legwork.
And we should leave it to somebody else to do that hard work, while we can focus on the things we are really good at. That is renewable energy, possibly renewable hydrogen, and adding value to our mineral resources.
We cannot solely rely on solar and wind to power our grid. They're intermittent. When the sun doesn't shine and the wind doesn't blow, how is Australia going to get its electricity?
Will's parents, Mark and Kylie, are his biggest supporters.
Firstly, I'd say I'm very proud of him. It's very unusual to have such a, I guess, courageous and determined young guy.
But they say they're not surprised by his passion and say Will has even managed to convince them of the benefits of nuclear.
I was probably someone who grew up where nuclear only had negative connotations, and Will has really opened my eyes up to nuclear and also the concerns that we have about energy.
As for the huge costs involved in building a nuclear reactor and where exactly you'd put one in Australia, Will says first things first.
I think the first step's just to legalise it and to put all options on the table, and that's what I specifically am advocating for.
And something he's not going to give up on anytime soon.
The consequences of choosing not to legalise nuclear energy and to keep an outdated and out-of-touch ban are the consequences that my generation will be condemned to.